Hello and welcome. I'm Erin, and we're back with playing some more of the Ace Attorney Phoenix Wright, the fifth case, Rise from the Ashes. And this is exciting because this is going to be new territory from what we were able to get into over on the Cosmic Waypoint channel, where we left off with this game before we went on that indefinite hiatus. Also, sorry if the audio is a little weird. It just started raining before I started streaming, but it should be fine. Um, February 23rd. Uh, oh, sorry, one more note that this is going to be a 2 hour stream again, just as a heads up. Um, February 23rd, 9:34 a.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. How did the investigation go yesterday, Mr. Wright? Ooh, I already see in chat with the hello, new stuff. Heck yeah. Frankly, there's a lot of... Oh, sorry, let me move my microphone. Sorry for the noise. Okay. Frankly, there's still a lot of gray areas. Or rather, the whole thing is one big gray area. Don't worry about me, no matter what the outcome. Yeah, you're already throwing yourself at the... I don't know. Throwing yourself at the book, is that a phrase? Oh, because you get the book thrown at you. I'm ready to accept my fate. I believe in you, sis. Mr. Wright, let me offer you a word of advice. Yes? A defense attorney should never believe their client. So does that mean I shouldn't believe that you're guilty? A defendant is called to the trial because they're suspected of wrongdoing. Never forget that. Miss Sky, you remind me a lot of Mia. But there is one decisive difference between you and her. And that is... you're not a defense attorney. I believe it's almost time for the trial. Good luck, Mr. Wright. Thank you. My first trial without a Fae helping me. No one's gonna bail me out this time. I'll be alone in there. So I have to discover the truth all by myself. Let's do it, Mr. Wright. I'll be with you the whole way. February 23rd, 10 o'clock a.m., District Court, Courtroom number 9. Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor. Oh, you're gonna start with sass? Edgeworth. It's been 2 months, but I haven't been in a courtroom since his trial. I hope that personal feelings will not be a part of the proceedings today, Mr. Wright. I will choose the path I think is right, regardless of what those around me might say. The judgment to be made here is in our hands, not those of anyone else. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth. Your opening statement, please. Chief Prosecutor Lana Sky has committed an unpardonable crime. Not only this, but she was rash enough to commit it in the prosecutor's office lot. Prosecutor's office lot. Wow, he's much more forceful in person. I suddenly feel like confessing to everything. However, she will now pay for her rashness with her life. Whoa, hang on. There was a witness to her crime. A professional witness. Well then, call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth. The prosecution calls its first witness, Miss Angel Starr, to the stand. cough-up queen? I do like her little hot dog necklace thing. It's cute. Haven't I seen you somewhere? You ordered the caviar lunch, right? Oh, caviar! I've never eaten caviar before. How much does that bento cost? The judge is really wolfing it down. And for you, I have a fiesta bowl. Thanks. Will the witness state her name and profession? And you, sir? Did you order the fingerprint lunchbox? It's too early for lunch. Your name and profession, please. He will not be swayed. Well, I don't know. Quote, with her life, do we mean just by locking her up for the rest of her life, or I don't know, but it's very dramatic either way. Well, Your Honor, how does it taste? So this is why everyone raves about caviar. It's so tasty it hurts. I always thought caviar would taste like pickled tapioca. What the heck does pickled tapioca taste like? Name, profession, now. Shrimp heaven now. Me? The name is Angel Star. Don't go forgetting it. I find myself running Lunchland these days. Is that what you wanted me to say, Mr. Edgeworth? Very well, witness. Please describe the incident to us. The prosecution will wait. I'm not finished eating. Hurry it up. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth. As you know, we usually call on the police to provide a description of the crime. Your Honor, as Mr. Edgeworth has said to the court, I am a professional. What exactly does that mean? Until 2 years ago, Miss Angel Star was a special investigator with the police. She was a first-rate homicide detective. Oh, what? Miss Star was a detective? Aha! I know who you are. Cough Up? Cough Up Queen Angel Star, Your Honor. Long time no see. Very well. You may continue with the description, Miss Star. Uh-oh. You're seeing her reputation in action. Just who is this lady? If I might have the court's attention over here. The parking lot at the prosecutor's office is divided into 2 blocks. A block is for the prosecutor's office personnel. I don't know why I have so much trouble saying prosecutor's office and then a word following that. But this is gonna make it a real challenge of a case for no other reason than just that. B block is for visitors and clients. A chain divider separates the 2 blocks. I suppose that is to keep the visitors from taking up prosecutors' spaces, yes? Oh wait, that was a judge! He just started copying her, it's fine. The crime took place by a car at the back of Block A in the car's trunk. The killer stabbed the victim with this knife, and went to drive the body out. Oh, I didn't know they were gonna try to drive away with Edgeworth's car. Unfortunately for her, there was a witness, and an arrest was made on the spot. And who was this valiant witness? Why, it was me, Your Honor. Parking lot floor plans. The parking lot with Edgeworth's car. Witness, did you see the very moment of the crime? Of course, Your Honor. Immediately after that, I apprehended the chief prosecutor. Seems rather cut and dry, doesn't it? Well, Mr. Wright? I can't agree on principle, Your Honor. It seems that some poor losers are unwilling to accept the truth, Your Honor. Shall I proceed to crush what little hope they have remaining? If you can, then give them your worst, Miss Starr. Excuse me, you're supposed to be impartial. Wait, are they talking about me? Witness's account. Somehow I always knew a day like this would come. I was on my way to deliver a lunchbox to my boyfriend when I sensed something. Perhaps it was my finely honed detective's intuition at work. Through the wire fence. Wait. Why would she be saying it through the wire fence? I saw the chief prosecutor standing next to a garish car. Makes direct eye contact with Edgeworth. The chief prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. Right hand, that seems important. Then she thrust a pointy tip of the knife into Detective Goodman's chest. Bringing a lunchbox to your boyfriend. How touching. As you can see, there is no room for doubt. I already see a hold it in chat. It's like, hang on a second, hold it on to hold it. God, get to the cross-examination first. The key point of your testimony seems to be nothing other than the point of the knife which you saw being stabbed into Detective Goodman. So, how does it feel to be utterly crushed? I'm still thinking about that. It's merely a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. Very well, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine the witness. Okie dokie. What makes you say that? How did you know? I respect the prosecutor's basic abhorrence for crime, excuse me. Yet, their methods are ugly and twisted. Twisted methods will always lead to tragedy. The lunch lady's uninformed opinion is duly noted. Given that they are used to erasing inconvenient evidence on their whim. Killing off a detective that knew too much is merely an extension of that. Miss Starr, do you have something personal against the prosecutors? I felt that I had found my dream job when I became an investigator. And if I hadn't been laid off by those prosecutors over there, I'd still be one. Laid off? She was fired. To me, prosecutors are nothing more than worms. That said, I am a pro, as you know. My testimony is unbiased and flawless. Very well. You may continue, Miss Starr. Delivering a lunchbox. His boyfriend. He's the detective. Not that boyfriend. The security guard. That boyfriend? You have several? Yes. This boyfriend, that boyfriend, and the other boyfriend. Care to join? The yet another boyfriend position is still open for applicants. I'll stick with the lunches, thanks. Note to self, the judge had to think before applying. The security guard room is in block A block. The block with the block for A. I can't do the Poison for Cusco thing. I got mixed up. It's up on the second level, so you can see everything from there. That would be the room with the security sign. Wait, so did you witness it from up there? Incidentally, did you bring your lunchboxes by car? Since I'm a visitor now, I parked in B block. Okay. That's how she saw through the chain link fence. So she was in B block when she witnessed a crime. Okay, so that answers that question I had. You sensed something. So you're saying you had premonition of the murder? Wait, in chat you say so she couldn't have seen it through the fence. Oh, okay, hang on. Because I was like, I don't know, what if there could have been something, I don't know, we'll see. Because wait, let me look at the map. I don't think it's gonna have like a diagram of like where everything was parked at that time. You know, like if there was something blocking it, but it doesn't seem like it. Oh, wait. I wonder if there's gonna be relevance with that wall blocking the sight line between the security room and the car, though. Guess we'll see. I felt like, how would you say? Oh yes. It was like the feeling you get when you view a pumpkin chock full of seeds. What? I have no idea what that means. Me neither. Speaking of a detective's intuition, wasn't the victim, Mr. Bruce Goodman, also a detective? Yes, well, he was like a young cheese. A young cheese? Pale white cheese not yet tangy with experience on the streets. A greenhorn. Then I must be a hard yellowed and sharp as a tack. Yeah, with the odor of an old cheese to match. In any case, there, in a lot, I felt something stirring in the back of my mind. Alright. Through the wire fence, I saw the chief prosecutor standing next to a garish car. Okay, so she was just standing there, you say. By garish car, you mean Mr. Edgeworth's car, yes. Mr. Edgeworth? Incidentally, the knife with which the victim was stabbed was also Mr. Edgeworth's. Wasn't it? Indeed it was. What an odd case this is. And the person you saw, you sure it was the defendant? I saw her from no further than 30 feet away. I'm certain it was her. She's telling the truth. We're doomed. Let's just do what we can. Even if we can't have any proof, we can always nitpick. Witness, in your testimony you clearly stated the following. Prosecutors are nothing more than worms. Ergo, you are a biased witness. You might want to keep those silly opinions to yourself in the future, rookie. Huh? Rookie? Unless you're willing to risk the consequences of doubting me. I'll fry you like a fritter, crispy on the outside, chewy on the inside. That was inspiring. I believe I've heard that tagline elsewhere. You could cry plagiarism? I may be relegated to the lowly post of lunch lady, but my instincts are honed. She took a photo! A photograph? You took this? That's very good. You should have that as your new career. If you don't want to do lunch ladying anymore. The moment I witnessed a crime, my reflexes took over in a snap. I took a picture. Hang on, I want to see the picture again. Let me see. Oh wait, I don't have it yet. In fact, one of the lunchboxes is rigged with the camera. Uh-oh. I suppose that's more exciting than just hanging around your neck. Witness, why am I only seeing this photograph just now? You think I show it to you, a prosecutor? Think again. But my boyfriend works in the photography division of criminal affairs. Well, This is most certainly the defendant. Hmm. Hmm. So far, the only thing I'm noticing is that she's wearing gloves and her hand isn't injured yet? Question mark. She was wearing a bandage around her hand, and Emma pointed it out. In the detention center. Uh, but also the blood on her coat. Is that gonna be significant? Crime photo. The moment of the crime as photographed by Angel Starr. Added to the court record. Uh-oh. That is unmistakably Lana Skye. So what was the defendant doing at the time? Chief prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. Not in the photo, but I guess the knife could be already stabbed and is in Detective Goodman's chest, if we follow Angel's logic. Tell me more about this knife that the suspect was carrying. Well, I'd say the blade is about 4 inches long. Is that right, Mr. Edgeworth? It is your knife, after all. Yes, that's about right. Wait, I want to also look. Do we have an autopsy report yet? Yes, we do. Wound was caused by a 4.5-inch knife. Single stab wound was found. Loss of blood from chest wound. Chat says, yeah, and she said she cut herself by accident while committing the murder, so she should be injured in the photo if it's meant to be right after the stabbing. I see. Prosecutors are by nature well versed in the location of a man's vital organs. I'm sure it's easier than boiling an egg for my egg salad surprise set. You can't testify as to her ability to kill an egg. I mean, a person. Perhaps chicken salad set would have been a better metaphor. So the defendant was holding a knife. What then? Okay, yeah, they're like hammering down that she is holding a knife. But, I don't know. We'll finish pressing the rest of the statement first. I also do have the guide open, but since this is like the quote-unquote fresh part, I want to explore it a little bit. Tell the court why you didn't try to stop this crime. You did see her raise the knife to strike, no? The defense has a point. Unfortunately, by the time I realized what was going on, it was already too late. Too late? Yes. The next moment, the chief prosecutor brought down the murder weapon. I see. It's only a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. We can make it. You said that before. Anything else? Scientifically speaking, Miss Starr's testimony is flawless. Sounds pretty fatal to me. What do we do? Is this it? Is my sister guilty? Let's just keep our heads cool and press the witness a bit, shall we? For some reason having her panicking next to me makes me calmer. One of us has to be the calm one. Don't smile like that. Okay. Let's see. I'm guessing it's gonna be... because they keep pointing out the... she's holding a knife, she's holding a knife. That is gonna be connected to the crime photo of her not holding the knife. And you witnessed this. You saw Miss Skye stab the victim with a knife. As I've already said, yes. You get a whole bottle of sauce with that one? Nice. I swear on my finest salmon swirl lunch. Where's the salmon? I'm sure that is a fine lunch. But... isn't that odd? Look at this photograph. This is the photograph you took of the very moment of the crime, is it not? Then why is Miss Sky not holding a knife? Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts? Objection. That had to be the weakest objection ever, Edgeworth. Yet, it was still stronger than your ever feeble mind, Mr. Wright. What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? This photograph was not taken the moment before the stabbing. It was taken a moment after the stabbing. And how can you tell that? Blood splatter. How do you know that's not just like a cool look that she has going on? Huh? See the dark crimson stains the chief prosecutor's coat. But it's a black and white photograph. She could have spilled barbecue sauce all over herself with one of your lunches. Yes, it is hard to tell, but this could be blood. Well, Mr. Wright, I see no problem here. No problem except you. Mr. Wright, are you gonna just sit there and take that kind of abuse? You got a better idea? Object? I don't know what we're objecting for, but wait, that kind of, oh yeah. Wait, what the witness says. It does contradict what the defendant says, but what did the witness say? That contradicts what the witness said in her testimony. Namely, that she took the picture at the moment. She witnessed a crime. Well, it seems I was slightly unclear. My apologies. That's it? If you run out of lunch, you order seconds. Problem solved. If you don't like it, try ordering the jumbo-sized lunch from the get-go. Good advice. I'm not sure I understood it, but good advice. I didn't have time to stop her. I was too busy taking a photo. Prosecutor Sky was cold, calculating. Like a robot. She killed without pain or remorse. It was a premeditated murder. Premeditated? How do you know? Look at the chief prosecutor's hands in that photograph. Well, are those gloves? Isn't it cold in February in Japan? I mean Japanifornia? Surgical gloves. Oh, surgical gloves made of thin rubber, most likely. Why would she have those on? How do you know it's surgical gloves, though? Hang on. If that was not premeditated, she would not be wearing those gloves. Rawr! Well, these gloves do seem to tell a tale of premeditation. Premeditated murder, a serious offense. Witness, add those to your testimony. The murder was planned. Rubber gloves prove it. Elaborate on that. What if she was just in the habit of wearing gloves, like driving gloves? The gloves were admitted as evidence when the defendant was arrested. They were rubber gloves, of the kind used for autopsies. In other words, when the chief prosecutor came to the crime scene, she came to do murder. It's the only possible conclusion one can make. Everything was planned. It was a premeditated crime. Ugh. Impressive. I'm sorry they took you off the force, Miss Starr. This is bad. She's got them thinking it was all planned. She can prove this claim. This trial's already over. Gotta think of a way to show it wasn't premeditated. It's only a flesh wound. Skip, skip, skip. Skip, skip, skip. Skip, skip. Okay. I think it's gonna be relate. Oops! No, I passed it! Gonna be related to the last statement. Trying to get back to it. There we go. Okay, what do we got? No prints. I mean, she was wearing... Hang on. Oh, right. Okay. I peeked at it in the guide that it's this one, but I didn't really get why yet. Ooh, and Chaz says, well, I think it may have been planned by someone. Okay. Rather than me explain, I'll let Phoenix... Wait, I hit the wrong button. There we go. I'll let Phoenix go into it. Witness, do you know what this is? Are you trying to test me? I sell lunchboxes for a living, you know. That's a knife. The knife. The knife that was in Mr. Edgeworth's trunk. Indeed, it is my knife. It's a knife. What's with this case? The bloody murder weapon, a red car, all belonging to the prosecutor there. The defendant is the chief prosecutor for the district, right? Mommy, are prosecutors bad people? The defense has a request. We ask that the witness provide an accurate testimony. What's that, Rookie? In your testimony, you stated that Lana Skye planned this murder. And that's why she was wearing those special gloves. Seems like a natural conclusion to me. The gloves do indicate planning. However, why would she not also prepare the most important thing? The murder weapon. Oh. This knife just happened to be in the trunk of that car. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are going to plan a murder, you don't forget the murder weapon, or the weapon. Oh, whoa! Not the lunches. Order, order, order. Great, now the tide is turning in our favor. Great show, Mr. Wright. My sister is as good as free. I wouldn't go that far yet. Uh-oh. Right. Excuse me. It'd be funny if Edgeworth tried to do that dramatic, like, stand still and his voice just cracks. Right. I believe the next lunch you'll be eating is humble pie. What? That's not on the menu. I hope you weren't deluding yourself thinking that the tide has turned. Not over such a trifling detail. But this shoots a hole in a whole premeditated theory. Bah. The prosecution could... This is such a pet peeve. The prosecution could not care less if it was premeditated or not. The only one who seems to care is that lunch lady over there. The defendant, Lana Skye, murdered a detective with a knife. And it's the only thing the prosecution need prove. Nothing else. Very good, Mr. Prosecutor. I suppose you think you're clever now. But you know as well as I do that she planned on killing him. It was planned. If it wasn't, why would she have been wearing... I believe I'd like to hear your testimony again. Witness, please please tell us only what you saw, not what you thought. How dare you? My powers of deduction are not to be underestimated. Yeah, exactly. Chow, it's an objection. Edgeworth used wrong wording with that could care less line. Yeah, and I did it twice in the latest, in the localization of the Ace Attorney Investigations 2, which was why it was fresh on my mind. It's like, no, say you could care less means that you do care. And you still have room to care. Really now? Angel's deduction. Lana Skye intended to murder Detective Goodman. That's why she called the victim all the way to the prosecutor's office. I'm sure the chief prosecutor had a grudge against the victim. Nothing else could drive that human machine to plunge the knife again and again. Contradiction! He was stabbed once. We just looked at the autopsy report. The victim was someone from the police department. Also, it doesn't seem like she even knows what Lana's motive is. So we don't know her motive for killing Detective Goodman. Just that she was situationally there to be able to commit the murder. The victim was summoned from the police department to the prosecutor's office. That she had the means, I think is the term, or whatever. It does sound a lot like premeditation, doesn't it? So, wait, what? So, if I ordered a pizza, does that mean I'm planning to kill the delivery boy? In any case, the defense may now cross-examine the witness. Kind of want to, even though I know it, I want to still see. You said that, but you haven't told us how you know. That's what I'm about to tell you, rookie. I believe what she has just said is merely the prelude to the story she's about to tell. Try not to interrupt her again. Rookie. Never interrupt the storyteller. It's like pulling a bun out of the oven half-baked. Something's half-baked here, alright, and it's you. Oh, graduated from roasting teens, I see. Try not to confuse the defense witness. They're not very quick on their feet. Now, why did you believe the suspect had intentions to murder the victim? Her actions speak for themselves. Called him to the prosecutor's office. You have no proof that Miss Skye called him there. You have no proof that she didn't. Mr. Redshire, thoughts? There is no record of a call made from the defendant Miss Lana Skye's phone. She might have written him a letter. What? Huh? What? Huh? Yeah, I was thinking that too. Like there's literally a public phone in the garage. Come on, you could have at least tried public phone first at least. In any case, the victim came to the prosecutor's office where he was murdered. I'm sure he had a reason to be there. Witness? Why do you think the suspect was summoned by the victim that day? That's just speculation. I'm sure that she had a grudge against him. What kind of grudge? Well, I wouldn't know that. Of course you don't. That's because she didn't have a grudge. Well, you also can't say that. Rookie. I have a lunchbox here. Now, what's inside? How am I supposed to know? See? We agree there's a lunchbox there, but we don't know what's inside. A person's life is like a lunchbox with pretzels. Don't you agree? I get it. That's why my lunch was so salty. This judge isn't very good with metaphors. Suspect had a grudge against Detective Goodman. You tell us your basis for thinking this. It's simple. Okay, we'll press on it, but then we'll circle back to point out the contradiction. A human machine? That's a contradiction. That's not the contradiction I was talking about, Phoenix. Please. Can't you find fault with something of substance, Mr. Wright? Note to self. Mr. Etris... wait. Mr. Etris' eyes smell like citrus fruit? Why are you smelling his breath? from across the courtroom. Or is he just objecting that loud? It's like a cloud of stinky breath. I don't want to be in this courtroom. You say again and again. How many times did she stab him exactly? We often say chop into 1,000 pieces, but we don't actually mean 1,000 pieces. What difference does it make if the deed is done? How come she's getting mad at me? Let's just say he stabbed him several times and leave it at that. Leave it at that? That's a murder case, people! Mr. Wright, you should speak up if you have an objection, you know. I do have an objection. Miss Star has turned out to be as short-tempered as she looked when we met her. Challenging her abilities as a detective really set her off. Short wick burns out the fastest. That's a scientific fact. I wonder, wouldn't it depend on the size of the candle? I mean, add more wax and even a really short wick will burn longer. Obviously, more scientific testing is required. Okay. There we go. Autopsy. Single stab wound. You say she stabbed him again and again. Well, you couldn't have witnessed that. Are you testing me? Then I'll test you. With my moss surprise. Ew? I'm afraid the moss is growing under our feet as we wait, Miss Star. Hmm? What do you mean? I shouldn't have to explain this, but take a look. The autopsy report states that the death was due to a loss of blood from one stab wound. Aha! You're right! Good show, Mr. Edgeworth. Hang on! What a hunk! He's my hero, really. What about my objection? No one noticed? Well, witness. Whoa. You got the crime scene set, right? Oh, thanks. I always believed that no one would ever mistake ketchup for blood. But now I realize such mistakes are possible. So, you're saying you mistook something for blood? When she lifted her knife. Wait, when she lifted her knife, I thought I saw blood at her breast. Splattered blood from her victim. That's why I thought she must have stabbed him at least twice. Huh? Then tell us what you saw. Then tell us what you saw that you thought was blood. Testify. But how does that make you think that she stabbed multiple times, though? Hang on. I'm just gonna press real quick. Her red muffler. Yes, like a scarf. The chief prosecutor always wears one around her neck. So she can be easily hanged at a moment's notice, I suppose. She's right. Miss Sky was wearing a red scarf, wasn't she? But wait, isn't that odd that you mistook that for splattered blood? Well, people often mistake my beard for a bib. Do they? A judge with a bib. That's why this place feels so much like a kindergarten sometimes. Actually, I don't see a scarf in this. Like this isn't a photo, but I do think I saw some traces of blood on her chest. However, the autopsy report is clear on this matter. There was only one knife wound. Apparently Miss Starr isn't entirely sure of her own testimony. Mr. Wright, this is our chance. Chance for what, I wonder? The star has turned out... Okay. Skip. But I see in chat what I guess he's trying to say that she got there after at least one stab had already happened. Maybe. Or either that, or she's trying to say that she was so in shock from seeing the stab that she... Even if she didn't see the movement of multiple stabs, she saw the amount, quote-unquote, of blood that suggests multiple stabs. Let's see if she's wearing a scarf in the actual photo. Yeah. Okay. I suspect that she will not be. Look at it first. No scarf. No scarf. No knife. No scarf. No service. The witness is clearly not suited for detective work. Did you just take over my objection again? What? The suspect was not wearing a scarf or muffler of any kind when she stabbed the victim. And you proved it yourself with this photograph. Huh? But that can't be. Only a professional lunch lady could be so utterly clueless. Hey now. Congratulations. Perhaps you finally found your true calling in life. Harsh words, but good. Yeah! He's stealing our objections. It's like he's playing both the prosecution and the defense after the stuff that he went through before. But this is what he means by seeking out the truth on his own terms, I guess. In the end, Mr. Edgeworth prevails. That was... what was my objection? Chopped liver? But it was there. Scarf. No, not that, but something red. Really. Did Goodman have something red on him? Besides his blood? Well now, where were we? The witness has given us an entertaining interlude, but back to business. What? Very well, witness. Continue your testimony. You saw the crime and apprehended the suspect. Tell us about that. Very well. I do remember some things accurately, at least. Ultimately, we couldn't shake the most important part of her testimony. Most important part? The part where your sister stabs the victim. This next testimony might just be the moment of truth. Chaz says Edgeworth is annoyed with her hating prosecutors. Yeah, I mean he is, but I guess whether that's his motivation of tearing into her testimony or not. I don't... It probably doesn't hurt him, tearing into her testimony. Apprehending the suspect. Gotta also scroll up the guide. After the murder, the suspect attempted to run behind a partition off to her side. I quickly caught her, explained her rights to her, and arrested her on the spot. Ah yes, when I arrested her, she mentioned a muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. I don't know. The chief prosecutor made to escape, but against Angel Star, resistance is futile. You are quite determined about this scarf, aren't you? I strike like a snake and bite like a cobra. That's me, Angel Star. That wasn't a very good metaphor. First of all, a cobra is a kind of snake. Don't bother me with details unless you want to get bitten. No thanks. Note to self, Mr. Wright is weak against poisonous snake bites. I think you mean venomous. The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum. An oil drum? Hard to imagine. Oh, she's beautiful but deadly. A predator, this one. A leopard woman. Wow, excuse me? Are you flirting with the defendant? Very well, Mr. Wright. Your cross-examination, if you will. After the murder, she attempted to run behind a partition. Gonna go ahead and go real. Press on this one. You say quickly. Were you close to the suspect? As I just said, I was only 30 feet away from her the whole time. Yeah, but you had to go around the fence, wouldn't you? Press for more details. I'd like to see this on the floor plans just to be safe. Lunchland car was... She was a visitor. That she was parked in block B block. So you witnessed a murder from here. That would make it about 30 feet from the car, yes. Is that correct, Miss Star? Oh, that little camera shake and the yes makes this seem suspicious. But also, would her view be obstructed if the murder was committed behind the car and the trunk was open and everything? I guess, presumably the trunk was open if she had to get the knife. But there was a chain link fence in front of you. I went over it, of course. Can you? Wait. Do we have a picture of the... I don't think we have a picture of the lot. Then, like, was the fence all the way to the ceiling, or was it just like a fence? Amazing! Cough-up queen, lunch lady athlete, lunchably athletic. It would have taken her a little time to climb over the fence. So she couldn't have gotten to my sister that fast. Okay, thank you. Okay, it doesn't go all the way to the top. I mean, you could probably, like, get up onto the trunk's bed and then up the cab and over the fence rather than just, like, climbing it. If the trunk was there, I don't know if it was. Yeah, that fence was about 9 feet high, too. How did Miss Sky knock it away? I don't know, all of this seems a bit flimsy. I don't know what's going on yet, even though I played this before a couple times. I want to press her on this. Why are you so obsessed with the muffler? She mentioned the muffler. What exactly did she say? If I remembered exactly, I would have told you in my testimony. Cheeky. Anyway, I heard her say... all I heard her say was the word muffler. Just the one word. Was she talking about the car's muffler? I don't know. Just like a lot going on with these testimonies. Just that one word. So, what you heard wasn't the suspect talking to you, but to someone else. The phone call to Emma! Yeah, yes, the chief prosecutor was talking on her phone. Oh, well, hey, ask further. By phone, do you mean the cell phone discovered at the crime scene? Yes, ultimately. Ultimately. My memory is like a salmon heading upstream, you see. No, the court doesn't seem a star. The chief prosecutor first attempted to use the phone hanging on the wall. On the wall? That's right. Near the car. There was an emergency phone on the wall. Apparently it was out of order. That's great for an emergency phone. And so she used her cell phone. Indeed, the emergency phone was out of order that day. Good witnessing, witness. How could she see that door if there was the partition that was between the car and the phone. Good witnessing. Whatever happened to good testifying? You should of course add this to your testimony. The things I do to please this rookie defense attorney. Lana's cell phone. Lana's cell phone. The word muffler was overheard during a call made to Emma at 5:18. Updated in court record. I saw it all, how she tried the phone on a wall, but she had to use her cell instead. Did you see it? Are you lying? Do you think you could restate your testimony for the court? Wait. Aha, I was going to ask the same thing. I'll only say this one time, so listen close, rookies. Chief prosecutor stabbed the victim and ran behind a partition. Okay, so she's saying that the phone attempts happened while she was trying to climb over the fence? Then she picked up the emergency phone on a wall, but it was out of order. So she pulled out her own cell phone out of her pocket. During that time, you climbed over the chain link fence. Then I boldly grabbed her arm, where no arm grabber has gone before. Chief prosecutor hung up her phone, and you saw her doing this. Oh, this is what I was thinking! I think he's on the same thought that I was having anyway with the partition. Chief prosecutor made to escape, but against Angel Star resistance is futile. I don't think we're gonna get anything out of pressing that one. Let me see. Okay. I feel like it's gonna be this with pointing out the partition, which I think the only thing that shows it is the parking floor, or the floor plans. Ho-ho! Miss Starr, I have to conclude that you have a personal grudge against Miss Lana Skye. Witness is a former detective. Her testimony is unmarred by personal bias. Well, who would have thought you would be my knight in shining armor, prosecutor? You, who together with the chief prosecutor, kicked me out 2 years ago. Well, Miss Starr, this is a fatal contradiction with your testimony. How do you explain this? Huh, I don't know what you're talking about. Mess with me, and I'll make you cough it all up. My lungs? But let's look at the floor plans. You said you witnessed a crime from this point. However, if that's true, you couldn't have possibly have seen Miss Skye making that phone call. Exactly! I believe you see what I'm getting at. That emergency phone was on the backside of this partition. If indeed you were in B block, you couldn't have seen it. Hurrah! Yeah, like you're either gonna see the stabbing or you're gonna see the phone call. You can't be both. Order, order. What is the meaning of this? It's simple, Your Honor. She's not coughing up lunch. She's coughing up lies. Yeah! Grr. That's quite a claim, Miss Wright. Perhaps you will allow me a question. Tell us exactly what lie this witness has told the court. Here's where the counterattack begins. Can't afford to get this wrong. I mean, I still got plenty of penalty points. I don't know what you're talking about. She lied about... What did she lie about? I'm like, okay. I was double checking the guide because I don't want to do a little run around. Where she saw it. okay. Yeah, so she saw it from the security booth and then she saw the phone call, but she didn't see the stabbing because she's very fuzzy about the details of what happened to the stabbing, but she's like very clear about the phone call stuff. And so that means that she didn't actually see Lana kill the detective if this is the path that it's going down. This guy tried to use the emergency phone, but it was out of order. What is significant about this fact? Nothing, therefore, it would be pointless for Miss Star to lie about it. Pointless to lie? I see. But a witness did actually see Miss Sky using the emergency phone. It would mean Miss Star witnessed the crime from a different location. Different location? Now that's a pointless lie if I ever heard one. Before you call my lie pointless, at least let me tell it. Let me ask a question to our clever wordsmith, Mr. Wright. Just where was the witness when she saw the crime? I assume the security room, because that's where she was taking the lunch to her security boyfriend, wasn't it? All the testimony we've heard until now points us in one direction. The place from where Miss Star witnessed the crime was here. Oh, wrong button. This is the only place where she could have been. The security guard room? Indeed, the security room in the underground parking lot is well positioned. It's built on the second floor so you can see the entire lot. She would have been able to see the emergency phone from here. But why there? There are many other places she could have seen the phone. Not in this case, Your Honor. The witness, not being part of the prosecutor's office, couldn't park in Block A. The only place where she could have seen the crime and the back of the partition is here. So it's actually saying that she could see it from the second floor? I remember in your testimony you said maybe it was partially obscured. You brought a lunch to your boyfriend in the security guard room, yes? Well, Miss Star, how many years have I been getting the better of men? To think that the tables could be turned. Today a man has got the better of Angel Star. Order, order. Witness. What have you done? You used to be a detective. You should know better. I'm not turning back. The guilty will be punished. And I'll do what I must to make sure justice prevails. The guilty? Is she talking about Miss Sky? Miss Wright? Oops, excuse me. Mr. Wright, doesn't this strike you as odd? There's so many misses in this case. Why did Miss Star lie? I almost called her Miss Star. I mean, Miss Sky. Oh my gosh. So many Miss S names. Specifically. Sort of like with April May and then Maya and all that and the Turnabout Sisters. Doesn't make sense. Huh? She could have just said she saw the crime from the security guard station. Yeah. It wouldn't change anything. Unless it was obscured. I don't know. Exactly. This photograph tells all. Wait, how did you get that photo? Hang on. I'm getting confused. This photograph tells all. It was the defendant who stabbed the victim. That truth still stands. Who took that photo? If she was in the security guard station... What? It still stands. I disagree, Mr. Edgeworth. What? If a witness is found to be lying, they're guilty of perjury. She knows this. She wouldn't risk that without a good reason. So tell us what her reason was, Mr. Wright. Huh? Me? Who else? Mr. Wright, let's review what we know. Yeah, and chat with the photo couldn't have been at the supposed time of the crime. Yeah, but especially like if she's claiming she saw it from the security room and then ran down to her arrest Lana. She would have just come down from that door next to the security room on the map, so she wouldn't. It would be silly for her to like run down to B and then hop over the fence. What? I don't even remember what happens in this section. Miss Starr witnessed the crime from the security guard station. But she lied and said that she saw it from B block. Not by her, at least, yeah. What's going on? It must make a vital difference, but what? What could it change? It changes the distance between her and the scene of the crime. My condolences, Mr. Wright. But one look at the floor plans and it's quite clear. The distance between the scene of the crime and the guard station is 30 feet. I don't see how that would change what she could see. What she saw is not in question here. What matters is the time it would take for her to reach the scene of the crime. Miss Starr, you witnessed the crime from the security guard station. Now, how long did it take you to go from there to the scene of the crime where you arrested Miss Sky? Well, witness? You? Yes? You ordered the squid wheels, right? The quality of my lunches has gone from low to inedible. I was bringing a PB&J lunch with fresh boysenberry jam to my boyfriend. Boysenberry for the boyfriend. He wasn't in the station, so I waited. I witnessed the crime from the glass-walled station. And before I knew what I was doing, I find myself running towards the scene. But the door was locked. I couldn't open it. Okay, so she didn't do... She did hop the fence? That's why I had to go through the visitors parking in B block. Oh, is this how they explained how she took the photo also? I can't remember if I read what that said, but just that she went to B block. That's quite a detour. It probably took me at least 5 minutes to get to the scene of the crime. 5 minutes? I don't see why you had to lie about all the other stuff though. I don't know if we've uncovered everything yet. This changes things considerably. But it was that woman over there in the defendant's chair who stabbed him. I know it. I have photographic evidence. I swear it. I swear on my finest plastic spork. You have a point. The spork is a wonderful invention. Would you like another caviar lunch? Absolutely. Uh-oh. Mr. Wright, you have to do something. Do I have any evidence to stop this? I'm gonna object anyway. I almost said months. 5 minutes. It just took her 5 months to get down. And then she like finds Lana again and arrests her. 5 minutes between witnessing the murder and the arrest. Think about it. You could make pasta in that amount of time if you like it al dente. I do. got lunchboxes that tie pasta into knots, rookie. A 5-minute blank. Isn't that strange? Strange. If you were a criminal, what would you do with 5 minutes, Your Honor? Well, I guess I'd flee the scene. Hey! Don't get the wrong idea. I didn't kill anyone. But you have the instincts of a killer. You would run. But this time was different. Miss Guy dawdled at a scene of crime. She even had her picture taken. No true criminal would act this way. It's inconceivable. She was letting herself get caught. Yeah, that does line up with how she's acting. But what does it... Well then, it seems we've come to the end of this testimony. The witness has a grudge against the defendant and a blank in her testimony. Mr. Edgeworth is the next witness ready to go. Unfortunately, I appear to have overestimated this witness on account of her professional history. We did it! We screwed that can shut, Mr. Wright. But that was too close. I'm afraid that the Kafo Queen has been dethroned. And with that, court is adjourned. Hold it! Why? Mr. Edgeworth, you ordered the squid wheels, right? That's when she tried to foist off on me! I prefer not to take the defense team's leftovers. Anything else to say? I might be able to save you. I have decisive evidence. I mean, I don't think we've proven Lana's innocence yet, even with the holes that we found in Angel's testimony, though. Because she's still saying that she saw her stabbing the guy. What was that? Is this another one of her trick lunchboxes? My apologies, but we have no further questions to ask of you, Miss Starr. Ah. Is this your jumbo lunchbox? Woohoo! A triple-decker! Are you bribing the judge? Out of deference to the witness's determination, I'll allow one more testimony. She bribed the judge. Let's hear about this decisive evidence. Like the Lunchland motto says, you won't be disappointed. What's she gonna pull out of her lunchbox this time? Okay. I'm gonna go ahead so that there's still music going, but we're gonna go ahead and take the break here because we're gonna end at the 2-hour mark for this stream as well. So I'll see y'all in 10 minutes. Hello and welcome back. Let's go ahead and listen to Angel's testimony. I should have mentioned those 5 minutes when I wasn't looking at the crime scene. Oop, I'm not clicking into the window. There we go. And now, to the matter of the victim's shoe. Did I not bring this up? Wait, did she bring this up at all earlier? 2 types of blood were found on this shoe. One was, of course, the victim's. The other blood type matched that of the defendant, Miss Lana Skye. Yeah, so she did get her hand cut, but when did that happen? The shoe proves it. It's flawless, decisive evidence. Okay, this is the decisive evidence she wanted to bring up. What? There was blood found on that shoe. Did she just put the shoe in her pocket? Try Lunchland for all your lunch and decisive evidence needs. Witness, what's the meaning of this? Why is this the first time I've heard of this evidence? Yeah, simple, as I've already said. I don't trust you with the evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. That's why I took the liberty of investigating this myself. And you had blood tests performed? Didn't I mention? I have 3 boyfriends in forensics. So, in any case, Your Honor, I can't accept this as evidence. I mean, I guess if they have it on record and it's not just her testing it in her house or something. Yeah, and child, the when and how was Lana injured? Yeah. What happened? What? You must know the 2 rules of evidence law. Rule 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. I mean, Phoenix has broken that rule a bunch of times. In other words, this shoe is illegal evidence, at least for the time being. Okay. Is that right, Mr. Wright? Seems so. Ettrish sure is celebrating. Not so fast, Mr. Edgeworth. Don't forget, I used to be a detective. As I mentioned previously, this shoe has already been tested by the member of the forensics department. As you can see, it was approved by the police department as of today. Even the general public can produce official evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. No. Is that right, Mr. Wright? Seems so. Edgeworth sure is looking pretty sullen. You can at least study some evidence law, really. Really? I mean, the prosecution's complaints notwithstanding, it appears this evidence satisfies the first rule of evidence law. However, it seems you have yet another count against you, witness. Anything to ensure that the guilty are properly judged. Well, maybe you should have brought this up sooner instead of lying about where you witnessed things from. Victim's shoe, white enamel shoe, bears traces of blood from Goodman and Lana Skye. Very well, Mr. Wright. You might cross-examine the witness. Alright, right. I should have mentioned those shoes. What are those? Oh, those are the 5 minutes. Okay. I do want to know what was going on with that. Why did you lie about those 5 minutes? I guess you could say I wanted people to look at the results. The results? How many times do I have to say this? I saw the chief prosecutor stab the victim before my very own eyes. But if you saw it, then why do you need to lie about it? Compared to that, a 5-minute blank means nothing. Then why didn't you just tell the truth? Don't make me laugh. We're dealing with the most untrustworthy of the vile lot known as prosecutors. Falsified evidence, arranged testimonies, erasing and manipulating evidence. Isn't that stuff you just did? When you fight monsters, oh, okay. You need to use every trick in the book. This is when the suspect is admitting she did it. False testimony is the most despicable crime of all, Miss Starr. Even more despicable than murder. Let's just get this over with. And you found this shoe at the scene of the crime? I detained the chief prosecutor and notified the police department. I wanted to make myself useful while I was waiting for the police to arrive. So, like an ill-trained pooch, you snuck off with the shoe. I was afraid someone would erase the chief prosecutor's crime. The shoe was my secret weapon if that were to happen. See this fashionable basket I have here? It carries more than lunchboxes, gentlemen. I'm happy for you and your lunchbox bag, really. In your case, you removed valuable evidence from the scene of the crime. Now tell us what you did next. So you brought it up to the forensics department. If you're going to submit something as evidence in court, you need it approved. To do that, evidence must be analyzed by a forensics expert. She got away with her little coup because she used to be a detective. shoe does appear to have bloodstains on it. Well, the man was stabbed after all. And that blood belonged to the victim, Detective Goodman? As I said, there were 2 types of blood found on the shoe. The other blood type was Lana's. Can't say for sure the blood belonged to the defendant with a blood test. I mean, yeah, you can. You claim to know something about blood tests, Ricky. Huh? Well, speak up. Well, oops. Blood comes in 4 types, A, B, O, and AB. However, you can't tell you can't tell from a blood test whether a murder was committed in cold blood. What are you talking about, Phoenix? That's just a figure of speech, Mr. Wright. Oh, he's trying to say just because her blood is on the shoe doesn't mean she is a murderer. Is that what he's trying to say? Actually, we can differentiate between millions of types with all the blood tests out there. Which means that we can more or less narrow down any sample of blood to just one person. Or so I hear. That's pretty specific. If I had a little more time, I could have gotten DNA test results. But it said there's very little doubt it could be anyone. Oh, they actually don't know 100% if it's hers? It's just the same blood type as hers? Huh? Doubt it could be anyone but Miss Lana Skies. So the suspect's blood was found on the victim's shoe. That ties her directly to death of Detective Goodman. I was afraid he was gonna say that. Shoe proves it. If the shoe fits. I can't let this evidence go through without a fight. You ordered the peppered fish guts, right? Ew. Some like it hot, Mr. Wright. Some like your client. Some like your client. She's in hot enough water to make the whole vat of soup. Mr. Wright, do you or don't you have a problem with this shoe? Problem? This is critical. Is there a problem with the shoe? Yeah. I assume this is where we bring up her being injured / uninjured. If I'm not imagining things, I'd say there's one critical problem with this evidence. A clear contradiction. That gleam in your eyes. You're still young, Ricky. I'd give you a peppered fish gut now. But you couldn't take the heat, could you? Excuse me. Let's hear what Mr. Wright has to say. What is contradictory about the victim's shoe? Show us the problem with this evidence. Need to to rotate. Oh, there's blood on the bottom. Why isn't anything lighting up? Can't examine it, we can only present. Hang on. Okay. I think it's gonna be the bottom of the shoe. I wonder if you noticed. There's blood on the bottom of the shoe. Don't mess with me, rookie. Or it'll be your blood on the bottom of my shoe. This isn't what I meant by step on me! Indeed, there is quite a lot of blood on the bottom of the shoe. It makes sense. The victim was stabbed with a knife. What could possibly be contradictory about the blood on the bottom of the shoe? Wait, I wanna look at this. There's no blood on the ground? Is that what we're getting at? The problem lies in the footprint. The footprint. Note that the bottom of the victim's shoe is covered in blood. Then, isn't it strange? Why weren't there any bloody footprints by the scene of the crime? Aha! As you can see, there were no traces of any such footprints at the scene of the crime. That contradicts your claim about the shoe. This picture only shows part of the floor, so there could have been bloody footprints. Then where are they, Mr. Edgeworth? Because we checked the scene and found nothing of the sort. You'll just have to trust me on that one. Order, order, order. Well, witness? What? Huh? Great going, Mr. Wright. But it's true that the lack of a footprint is a contradiction. But then we have to ask why there wasn't a footprint. Oh. That's true. There has to be a reason why there wasn't any footprint. Think, Mr. Wright, think. Hey, I don't know why it's not there. I'm just good at finding contradictions. What? Could it be just because he was in the trunk bleeding to death? I see. Now I get it. Get what? Our witness is more devious than I gave her credit for. We were hoodwinked to the very end. But she slipped. There is one vital hint to the truth in her testimony. What are you talking about? Think back to when she told us about apprehending the suspect. Oh! The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum. Oh, she's beautiful but deadly. A predator, this one. A leopard woman. Meow. I thought it was a strange thing for a normally cool-headed chief to do. No kidding. Now, witness, allow me to ask a very simple question. This oil drum, was it empty? Oh, that? Oh, that? Excuse me. I'm not sure I like your attitude, Mr. Edgeworth. Though apparently you're not the slowest conveyor belt in the lunchbox factory. Witness. Well, was the oil drum empty? The oil drum kicked over by the chief prosecutor was brimming with water. So she erased the footprints. Water? What does that mean? Still don't get it, Mr. Wright. Do you want to know the reason she knocked it over? The real reason? Aha! You don't mean... Yes. The suspect knocked over the oil drum for one reason and one reason alone. To erase the bloodstains that would become evidence against her. What? But then why would she wait to do that till after she was, or like as she was getting arrested instead of like during the 5 minutes where she was just sitting around? That ties things up quite nicely. The bloodstains left on the victim's shoes tie her quite clearly to the murder. Then, after the deed was done, she knocked over the oil drum to erase the telltale signs. Why, that's a prosecutor's specialty, erasing evidence. That reminds me, this guy's right hand was hurt. Didn't she say she cut herself when she stabbed him? But she's not hurt in the picture that we can see. So that's when my sister's blood got on the shoe? Well, I see no reason to prolong this trial. Mr. Wright, do something, please. What? What can I do? Your sister has confessed to the crime and she tried to conceal it. But... Enough. There is no need for further debate. Oops, the verdict, Your Honor. Very well. But Angel Star is on the prosecution's side. She could have been lying about the water. This court finds the defendant, Miss Lana Sky, Who's gonna object? Oh, there we go. You? Oh. Is it because she said she's on the prosecution side and she's gotten her to flip? Little girl, what did you just say? Huh? Me? Did you say that I, Angel Star, was on the prosecution side? Well, yeah, you are. You're saying my sister hid evidence by erasing the bloody footprints. Well, I thought you'd had your fill, but here you are, demanding a second helping. Another lunchbox. A lunchbox called evidence. That's kind of cool and funny. She could have, like, if she had not gone any further with this, she could have gotten away with pinning everything on Lana. Wait, witness. Don't tell me you have something else. The time for deliberations is past. Any further comments and you will be held in contempt of court. Your threats don't scare the cough-up queen. Look at this. The muffler and the muffler. Even though I know she's trying to show the water. And then there's a knife in the chest. A photograph. I had it just in case anyone had the gall to suggest that the white shoe didn't belong to the victim. I see no room for error in this evidence. Mr. Wright, look at that asphalt in this photo. Hey, it's clearly wet. Look at the muffler! Erasing the last trace of the last trace of doubt from the court's mind. Immediately after the murder, the crime scene was washed with water. I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. I guess I couldn't help after all. It's not your fault. I knew I couldn't win this case from the beginning. And it seems this is what your sister wanted anyway. I'm sorry, Mia. Don't give up! Right. Wet or not. Don't be so quick to throw in the towel. Get yourself up off the asphalt. Take another good look. Don't give up. Not until the bitter end. This is the last piece of evidence. Very well. This time I'd like to declare a verdict for good. Not for evil. Your Honor, wait. What is it with you people? Can't I hand down my verdicts in peace anymore? I see in chat with the victim isn't in the same pose as the outline at the crime scene, but I don't know if that means anything. Huh. At first I was gonna be like, oh, he probably fell out when they opened the trunk, but then I remembered Angel was the one that took the picture. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that. Whatever it is, can it wait? No, it can't. Then it'll be too late. Look at this photograph, the last one submitted. This trial isn't over till we give each piece of evidence proper consideration. So, right. Are you saying there's a problem with this latest piece of evidence? Yeah, I'll think later. Yeah, there's a problem. Right or wrong, I've got to go ahead with this. But yeah, because there's a possibility that the pose of the victim could have been different between the world versus the evidence photo because of the difference between art assets. So I don't know. We'll see if it comes up or not. I suppose since we've come this far, we should give every claim a fair shake. Oh wait, that's the judge. That's okay, I'm not gonna reread that. Very well, Mr. Wright. Show the court the problem with this photograph. Okay, what is the problem? Hang on, I'm looking at the guide. What part is this referring to? Where am I? Okay, so we are talking about the muffler now, I think. Oh! This is explaining what the 5-minute gap that Angel missed was her putting something in the muffler, maybe? Because Angel thought that she saw the scarf and was surprised that she wasn't wearing it. The problem in this photograph is here. What's this? There's something poking out of the car's muffler. Wait just a moment, Mr. Edgeworth. Your Honor? You just said muffler. However, I see no trace of a muffler or a scarf of any kind in this photograph. A muffler is also part of a car or motorcycle, Your Honor. Just think of it as part of the exhaust system. A pipe. I see. And I see. What's that suspicious looking cloth sticking out of the car's muffler? Huh. So what if there's something sticking out of the muffler? What does that have to do with this case? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Sorry, Miss Starr. It's not gonna be that easy. In fact, you've already told us why this is important to the case. You said as much in your testimony. What? Let's hear what Mr. Wright has on his mind. Tell us why you think this piece of cloth in a muffler is related to this case. Is it this? Or no, this. She mentioned a muffler. Miss Starr, recall your testimony for the court. Yes. When I arrested her, she mentioned a muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. Muffler. Ugh. Yarg! Could it be that the muffler you heard mentioned was actually this exhaust pipe? If so, that means this piece of cloth is vital evidence. Oh. It's just the Mario 64 screaming noise with the wow. I can't emulate it, sorry. Well, it seems we will have to suspend the proceedings. Suspend? I find myself wondering about that piece of cloth. If we leave any question unanswered here, we do have... Whoa, I can't read. If we leave any... oh my god. If we leave any question unanswered here, we do a disservice to the law. Have the car at the crime scene inspected at once, and bring me that cloth. Verdict will wait until after we've seen all the evidence. Agreed? I suppose so. Whew. That was close. But we made it. At least for now. The court will adjourn for a 30-minute recess. Oh, we're still not done with this yet. It's lunchtime after all. Yeah, I was gonna say he's already had like 2 lunches at least. He's still hungry? To be continued. Well, I guess this is gonna be a good stopping point. We'll continue the rest of the trial. The next one. I guess I would like to save my progress. Yeah. It's gonna be the usual LMAO, I also did the Mario yell with you. Thank you for not leaving me hanging. It's just so iconic. Shout out to Charles Martinet. Um, yeah, we're still on a regular schedule of Sunday afternoons. So, um, sorry, I was like looking a little bit at the what was coming up next in the guide. But yeah, thank y'all for hanging out, and I will see y'all next time. Hopefully, we'll. It's actually a pretty long case, but hopefully, we'll be able to get some questions answered next time. And start getting us on the right track of what the heck is going on. Because even I don't remember, because this case always confused me every time I played it before. Um, so yeah, we'll come back to this next week and see y'all next time. Bye bye.